Hey, my name is Matt. We're making chicken noodle soup today. Stay tuned.
Let's jump right into the ingredient list. We have 3 stalks of celery, 3 peeled carrots. We're going to take 2 cloves of garlic off this bulb, a whole yellow onion, kitchen twine and an herb package of rosemary, thyme, and sage, herbs de Provence, a travel bottle of white wine, 187 milliliters, 2 large boxes of chicken broth, egg noodles, rotisserie chicken, just the white meat for this recipe, and salt and pepper. You always want to make sure you're using a sharp knife whenever you're cooking in the kitchen. Next, we're going to grab the celery, trim off those leafy tips, set those aside. Now you want to cut all these pieces pretty uniform so they cook all at the same time. Watch out for your fingers there. Oop, get close. Toss those ends away. I'm going to put that celery on your plate. Up next we have our 3 carrots, same way. Nip the tips. I like to cut all 3 kind of together at first, till we get about halfway. Then I like to do one at a time using my finger guide. And we'll do the same for the other 2. Next we have our yellow onion. Cut the top off. Cut it right in half. Now we're going to peel that paper off. Usually it doesn't come off too easily, so we'll just do the first layer. Take that right off. Make sure we keep the root on. Do the same to the next one. Now we're going to cut through, making sure we don't cut all the way through the onion. Now turn it, cut the other way, flip it over, continue to cut, turn it, cut, turn it, cut, and we're going to toss that root. We'll do the same for the other side. Alright, up next we're going to cut our garlic, top of the clove, bottom of the clove. Yep, get it, there we go. Next clove, top, bottom. Now we're going to turn our knife sideways carefully, give it a few bangs. Same for the next clove. Now the paper all around that garlic should be nice and loose. You can pull it right off. I'm going to chop it up nice and uniform. No big chunks. Nobody wants a big chunk of garlic in their mouth. There we go. Wipe off the blade. Wipe off your fingers. All right. Now we're going to add that garlic right over. Wait. Just kidding. That garlic is going to cook so fast, and those veggies need time to soften. So we're going to keep it separate. Next we have our herb bundle and our kitchen twine. So we want about an 8 to 10 inch piece of kitchen twine. Hold that string down with your fingers and just slice right through it with your knife. Put that to the side. It's pretty good. take your herbs out of that package. Kind of hold them tight with your hand, get them in a nice bundle already. So the key to wrapping this is to leave some slack on the side here. And can't really see too well, unfortunately, but roll it over twice. And you want to tie a knot right in the middle. A lot of the herbs are going to come off in your soup, and that's what you want. But what you don't want is those stems. So by tying it, you can remove this whole bundle after you're done cooking. I always like to trim off the excess string. And there you go. Got your bundle. All right, up next is our rotisserie chicken. So what you want to do is cut along one side of the breastbone and then do the same to the other side. Cut along the outer side of the breast all the way up to the front. And that should give you enough to be able to pull the white meat right out. It's pretty easy to do by hand. We didn't even cut along the outer edge of the other side, and you can see it comes out really easily. Take the skin off. We'll set this aside for another meal. Now you can use a knife here, but it's a lot better if you just shred it with your hands. It works with soup a lot better that way. So shred this all up into about bite-sized pieces, and then we're going to do the same with the other breast. And there we go. Nice and easy.
One of the most important things to remember is to always have all your ingredients prepped and ready to go. I even line them up in order so I know which is next to go into the pot. That way I don't get confused. It's all right there. Simple, simple.
All right, it's time to start cooking. So the olive oil is in, it's warm and shimmering, so we're gonna add the vegetables. Onion, carrots, and celery right on in. And give it a little stir. Make sure all the veggies are coated with olive oil. Next, we're going to give a pinch of salt. We're going to cook that on medium heat for about 8 minutes. All right, it's been about 8 minutes. So we're going to add that garlic next. This is going to need about 1 more minute. And make sure we give it a good stir.
So we're adding wine to the vegetables, rosemary, sage, and thyme, and that bouquet bundle, and herbs de Provence. So that's gonna make our flavor base for the soup. Now, when you make this soup in the future, you can change any of those you want to, and that's gonna alter how your soup tastes. So keep that in mind. But the real key is that wine. That's really gonna start the flavor moving with those vegetables, and anything you add is just gonna really give so much richness to the soup.
All right, the garlic is cooked for about a minute. So now we're going to add the wine. Beautiful. Next, we're going to come in with the herbs de Provence. I use just about a tablespoon. You can do more, less, totally up to you. right, we have our bouquet bundle. A little bit of black pepper coming in. And another pinch of salt. Now we're going to turn this on high, give it a good stir, and cook it till all the wine is evaporated. Alright, it's been about 4 minutes and the wine is all cooked off. So we're going to go in with our chicken broth. Pour that right in. I like to put a hole in the box, make it come out a lot faster. So we're going to do the same with the next box, and then we're going to let it simmer for about 30 minutes.
Chicken noodle soup!
Alright, so it's been 30 minutes. We're going to grab that chicken, add that to the soup. Grab our spoon, give it a nice stir. And we're actually going to let that roll for another 30 minutes. Alright, the time has passed. It's time to add the egg noodles. I usually do about 3/4 of the bag, otherwise it's just too many. Give it a good stir, make sure they're all under the broth. And these generally cook for about 8 minutes on a boil. After that, you can cut the heat. All right, so there's one last step. We gotta get that herb bouquet out of there. There we go. All right, toss it.
All right, I got my bowl. Now's the best part. It's a little hot. Hey, this soup, super easy to make. Everyone's gonna love it, including you, which is the most important part. You can make any variation of it. You don't have to stick to the recipe. You know, get the wine down, get the vegetables down, then add whatever you want on top of it. It's gonna be great. You know, I always say cooking really brings people together. So I highly recommend you make this. Make people happy. Everyone loves chicken noodle soup. All right. Thanks a lot for joining me.